Hello, my name is Michael O'Keefe, aka The Movie Wizard. If you enjoy this interview and want to hear more top-notch film industry conversations, please press the thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell to stay in the know. All right, hello, Karen Martínez, Brandon López, Justin Lerner, and Mauricio Escobar. What are your individual reasons? Your number one reasons for all of you? What's the best thing about your movie, Cadejo Blanco?
The best thing.
Yes.
Wow. I would say one good thing about the film is that it's showing a part of the world, Puerto Barrios, Guatemala, that's never been on film before, and a story that's very specific to the region. And the fact that it was made and we're now playing at TIFF today and going on to other festivals, like the rest of the international world is going to get to see the movie and this small part of the world stories have never been told in this exact region. In a feature film, so that's pretty exciting to me.
Película de largometraje, eso me emociona mucho. ¿A ustedes qué les emociona más sobre esta película en general y muy personalmente?
A mí me emociona mucho creo que me emociona mucho poder ser parte de esta historia primero que nada, y luego me gusta mucho que es una historia que nunca antes creo que se había contado de esta forma, y que es una ventana para que el mundo vea de qué formas, a través del cine se puede mostrar cómo se vive en muchos lugares, y que nosotros pues no solo nos representamos a los personajes que están ahí, sino que representamos a muchos personajes que nadie conoce o que de repente nunca se habían visto en algún lugar. Y me emociona mucho todo el poder representarla y poder estar, como dice Justin, en muchos festivales y vernos en la pantallota y todo eso.
I'm excited about the fact of being part of this story. I like it a lot that this is a story that has never been told before. It's a window to show with cinema how people live in different contexts. We not only represented these characters in particular, but we were also representing a lot of people who had never had a voice before. I'm very excited to do it. Also going to festivals and looking at the film in a big screen.
Bueno, yo pienso que para mí lo mejor quizá de la película es que muestra a un personaje que rompe con el silencio y lo tradicional que es, no sé, como que no quiere que el crimen en general sea visto como algo normal, ¿verdad? Entonces, que ella busca atravesar estos límites que ya existen, porque como en Guatemala pues existe en general mucha violencia, pero el personaje toma una decisión y avanza con ella, y realmente esa decisión que ella toma y ese viaje seguramente es un viaje que muchas personas habrán querido tomar en otros momentos, pero no lo han hecho simplemente porque obviamente qué miedo de exponer tu vida y hacer como estas cosas, pero pienso que la película es como una pregunta de verdad es necesario que hagamos este tipo de acciones para que nos demos cuenta que el que desaparezcan mujeres o que hayan muertes es algo que no debería de ser. De verdad hay que llegar a estas circunstancias. Entonces la película lo muestra de esta forma a través de este viaje del personaje.
Okay, I think to me the best thing about this film is that it shows a character that breaks with silence and with tradition. It doesn't want the crime to be seen as something normal. She is looking to go through those pre-existing crimes. As you might know, in Guatemala, there is a lot of violence, but the decision that she makes is something that other people in real life maybe would have liked to do, but they haven't dared because they are afraid because it's dangerous. It's truly necessary that we do this kind of actions to realize that it's not normal that women disappear, and this is not something that society should just accept. And the film shows this through this character.
Okay, and how about you, Mauricio? What's your favorite thing about the movie?
Oh, hi, sorry. Well, I think, to be honest, I think the film is very exciting to us as a growing industry, small industry in Latin America, specifically in Central America. I think I am very excited about having met Justin, having watched his first two films, and I feel very honored to have produced his third and be part of it, because I really like his first two features. And I think this is a very important step to our country and to our filmography, because the film is creating a different way of looking at how we make films. This is a co-production, between Mexico, US, and Guatemala. And I think also this allowed us to have a technical and artistic quality that is on a very good level. And I think this is going to inspire a lot of people. But I am also very proud of the way we structured the film as a team, because we decided that this was not going to be just a story about these people. And I think Justin was really always wanting to push for giving back to the community. So I think that is very important, because we structured the film in a way that we working also with an NGO, and they are supporting these kids to get education, to get psychological and financial training. And so giving back, I think it's a very important part to me personally. And yeah, that's my answer.
Okay, and so tell my audience a bit about co-producing with multiple countries and how you were able to secure your finances.
I can start by saying that I first got down there and met Mauricio at the film school I teach at. I moved to Guatemala part-time in 2016 when I helped to start a film school, and Mauricio was another professor there. And at that point, I didn't have any idea that I wanted to make the film. But a year or so later, I met Mauricio and I was like, how do we do it? What does Guatemala have? What's possible? And I went to Barrios and did my research and started writing, went back to the US and got an involvement with Ryan Friedkin of Imperative Entertainment. And then Mauricio and I then found people in Guatemala, and maybe you can go from there, Mauricio. But it started with me getting the idea, talking to Mauricio, going to the US, and then he can talk about the Guatemala and Mexico, I think, element of how it came together.
It's very standard in the way it was structured in a way, but of course, every film is different and it has its own particularities. I think what attracted a lot of people into the film was also knowing that they would not only be financing or supporting a film, but it's a cause. It's a way of showing these people's lives, but not just showing them. Also trying to have a small impact, even if it's for a couple people or even the persons who were in front of the camera. I think that makes a big difference. We first, as Justin said, started, developing the project, and we understood that we needed to do some financing work. This is a film that was fully financed with private equity. There was Imperative, who was in the US, but there's also producer Jack Lerner from
Jack Curley.
Oh, sorry, Jack Lerner. Jack Curley. Jack Curley has a Guatemalan production company with partner. He's Guatemalan. That's the Orange Company. So I think it was a great team that was set to allow the structure of financing to come on board. And also Mexico, we also moved through the private side of it, so we made a deal with a post-production studio, and they brought some talent for the film too, and I mean for the post-production, and also became our partners in Mexico.
We also won a few small grants because of the social impact that the film is having. You know, we presented the film to a lot of grants as being a film that's also, long after the film is done, going to also, like Mauricio said, support the community by having this NGO partnership that's going to help provide more work and education experiences for the people in the film. So that afforded us, we won a few grants, and those grants helped support a little bit of pre-production. For example, we shot 2 or 3 scenes from the film before we had our full financing to show people with Brandon, Karen, and a few of the other cast members. We actually went to Puerto Barrios for one, and the other one we shot in Guatemala City, but pretended like it was a one-day film shoot for a short film, even though it was a scene. So that was also really helpful to get investors excited, both in Guatemala and in the US, and these grants as well. So it was a little bit of everything, like most independent films are structured, I think.
Very interesting. How did Karen and Brandon prepare for their roles?
¿Cómo ustedes se prepararon para su...
Bueno, quizá lo primero fue entender la motivación del personaje, del por qué ella decide llevar su decisión hasta las últimas circunstancias. Primero fue eso, que para entenderlo pues fue un poco de ayuda, pues teniendo conversaciones con Justin, haciendo como lectura varias veces del guión, y también pues buscando dentro de mí experiencias similares, ya sea con amigas o pues familiares, o con las noticias que yo veo y que constantemente siento como esta impotencia. Entonces realmente fue como este conjunto de cosas lo que hizo como el primer paso. Luego el segundo fue básicamente como un entrenamiento actoral que tuvimos con una coach, y también el relacionarnos con los otros personajes que había, ¿verdad? Los no actores o Brandon, y hacer esta como convivencia constante con ellos cuando ya estábamos muy cerca de la película. Y tercero, pues también todos los días prácticamente tener conversaciones constantes tanto con Justin como con los demás actores, o no sé, también creo que eso fue fundamental. Como el tercer paso fue la comunicación de todo, de preguntar de todo si tenía dudas, o comunicar mis comentarios o percepciones al respecto de algo. Entonces como que esas fueron las 3 cosas que yo como hice.
Sí.
Okay, so first thing was to understand the character's motivation, why she decides to take her decision until the last consequences. First, that to understand it, have conversations with Justin, several readings of the script, looking inside me, experiences either with my girlfriends or family members or the news that I constantly see, and I feel helpless. Now, second part of it was acting coaching that we had with a professional acting coach, and also to get involved with the other characters and actors who were playing, like Brandon, and all share with them. Third, to have important conversations about the character with Justin and the other actors. This third means communication, to be able to comment, to give my perceptions, and ask questions. And those are the 3 things that were important to me.
Yo, primero que nada, fue conocer la historia digamos, de todos los personajes. Cuando leí el guión, creo que empecé, y cuando ya Justin me asignó un personaje, creo que desde ese momento empecé yo a prepararme. Conocí a Justin como en 2017 o 18, creo. Y desde ese entonces nunca me corté el pelo. Nunca me corté el pelo. Yo me cortaba el pelo. Desde ahí empezó la preparación porque luego ya cuando Justin me empezaba a mandar sus tratamientos de guión, empecé a conocer la historia y ya le empecé a preguntar a él qué quería contar con mi personaje y mi personaje cómo iba a ser, cómo quería que camine. Le empecé a crear una forma de caminar, una forma de hablar, y luego pues ir a Puerto Barrios, estar en los lugares en los que íbamos a grabar, con los personajes que íbamos a grabar. Entonces, desde ahí fue un proceso, luego tener algunos ensayos con Karen y con Rudy, a través de Tati Palomo, que nos estuvo dando unos ensayos para antes del rodaje. Y entonces, pues desde ahí fue haciéndose una preparación, digamos, ya casi como 2 años de preparación del personaje,
Yeah.
creo. Sí.
First of all, was to get to know the story of all the characters. And when I read the script and Justin designated a character to me, since that moment I started preparing myself. I met Justin back in 2018, and since then I haven't cut my hair because he wanted it to be long. Not getting to know the story within the script, I asked him what he wanted to say and to tell with my character. Then I started understanding my character, creating a way of walking, a way of talking. It was also important to go to Puerto Barrios and share with the other characters that we were going to shoot with. We had rehearsals with both Karen and Rudy. They were led by Tatiana Palomo, the acting coach, who was giving us acting training during the pre-production. Well, since then, I could say I spent almost 2 years preparing myself for this character.
Wow. Okay. Sorry, Justin, what were the challenges and rewards making this movie?
Well, first of all, the challenges are always there for any film. Everyone has its own, but the challenges are the cast, for example, was big, and I'd say 80 to 90% non-professional, right? So you get a lot of authenticity with people who are playing versions of themselves. And Karen and Brandon, they're trained now, but what was great was they came from being non-actors in their first project. So that really helped me because they understood how to talk to the non-actors and help train them and bring them to a level because they had been through it. Shooting in a foreign country where there are different ways to secure locations and everything like that, that was a challenge for me to just learn more about how a crew worked in Latin America. Luckily, having lived there for 5 or 6 years on and off, and also having Mauricio Escobar and La Danta Films and the Orange Company, who are Guatemalan-based companies, helped with that transition. And then also just the scope in general was the biggest challenge. The reward is that we now have a piece of film and a story that really, I think, I think now doesn't really exist in this form, and exactly in the sense that we have a story told with real people from a community that I'm talking about Puerto Barrios, of course, and then an international, a Guatemalan cast from the city as well, but that the film hasn't a feature film hasn't taken place in this town. And so for me, the biggest reward is that we now have this wonderful document showing the rest of the world this really interesting place that I think personally breaks a lot of stereotypes about what you think about people who have this lifestyle. I think that a lot of people who see this film are going to be surprised by how much they will have in common, and the world that they live in might have in common with the plight of these people in looking for opportunities. And I think it avoids cliche in all of the ways that excited me when I first went down there and started learning about them.
Okay, well, Karen, Brandon, Justin, Mauricio, thank you so much for your time. Cadejo Blanco's the movie. Good luck in the future, guys. Good luck with the movies.
Thank you, Michael.